The Energized Show, up the Irish.
Okay, lads, here we go. Okay, what's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Or Kings Competitions. Ross,
Are you intoxicated or something?
introduce the guest, man.
Today, we are bringing you Mr. Main Event. He is your Cage Warriors World Welterweight Champion. It is the one and only. It's Jimbo Slice. It's James Sheehan. James, how you doing, my friend?
Lads, it's a pleasure to be on, as always. Great to see you both.
Yeah. Oh, great to see you, man. Great to see you. Man, the countdown is on. Cage Warriors Dublin. It's basically a year to the day since you won the belt. Bring us back to that day. How monumental was that day for you and your career, for your friends, your family, your training partners? What did that day in Irish MMA history mean to you, bud?
It was a huge day. It was a huge day for me personally. A huge day for the gym. It's just it's a nice little. The belt doesn't mean a lot to me. I just like winning it and progressing as a martial artist. But it is a nice feather in the cap to have. To nearly put a statement of years of hard work, and that's what that night was for me and for the gym as well. Like 4 wins, 4 finishes on April 6th last year. I don't think you can get much better than that. So this year we have 5 Team Ryano fighters on it. So hopefully 5 fights, 5 finishes. So get that a little bit sweeter again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose like that card in Dublin last year was one of the biggest cards of the year. And then, this card, it feels like it's only getting bigger and better by the day. New fights are being announced on the daily. Also, like, you're of course the main event of this one. Do you feel like there has been a massive progression over the last year, not only on Cage Warriors, but just in Irish MMA as a whole?
Oh, major. Like you can see like it's just small little steps being made of like things we all knew. So even like Paul Hughes is kind of stepping that, like he's shown he's the world class level. We're 3-0 now in the UFC for Irish MMA with Reese winning there not last night, the night before. And if you look at even last year and this year, like the main kind of biggest events are definitely the Cage Wars Ireland, and that's because the talent that's coming through the country at the moment, whether it be on the European pro stage, the world stage, or whatever. So it's a very exciting time for Irish MMA, and I'm delighted to be part of it.
100%, and I know you just touched on it there. Obviously, Reese McKee won at the weekend. He's someone you've trained with. He's someone I think you've shared cards with. He's obviously someone who is living out his dream at the moment, and obviously that's where your aspirations get you. But does that give you great motivation to see someone like Reese McKee go in there and get a win in the welterweight division? And a win here could have you signed to the UFC. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted for Reese because not that look, you're always going to get a tough run in the UFC. You're fighting killers, and even in Cage Warriors you're fighting guys that are killers as well. But I think it's nice to see Reese that he finally does get that breakthrough, that he shows he's at that level. Because like you've said yourself there, I've done I've trained with Reese. I know how good he is, and I'm a big fan of Reese as well personally. So I'm delighted for him, and yeah, I definitely my motivation and kind of confidence comes from my own kind of results and how I'm progressing in training. So I wouldn't take too much from other people and how they're doing on the world stage, but I think. I would be lying if I said it didn't help a small bit to say, oh yeah, Irish MMA is progressing. We are a major player in the game now, kind of in Europe anyway.
James, speaking of tough, this year the Ultimate Fighter is back and it's doing the welterweight division. We saw Andreas Binder announced on the show. Was there a possibility of you being on that?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I was meant to be on it, and then obviously I broke my hand with the Yanis Bakar fight. So it just came out quite bad timing for myself. But look, this game is a marathon, not a sprint. I think I've seen that from my teammates and just other fighters around the circuit, and the time will come, and I feel it was the exact same for the title as well. I was constantly being asked previously when do I think I'd fight for the title, and then it just happens, and then I snatch when the opportunity comes, and that's what I'm going to do. Plenty of opportunities will come for the UFC. So once it does again, I'll snatch it if I'm able.
Well, I think that goes to show that, you know, the UFC eyes and the UFC brass already know who James Sheehan is. They're interested in having him fight under the banner, and I think, you know, a win over someone like Justin Burlinson, who's fought on Dana White's Contender Series, who's fought for Cage Warriors welterweight titles before, I think like that's got to be the biggest feather in your cap. Do you feel like this is by far the biggest fight in your career?
Yeah, it is and it isn't. Like, it's I kind of say that every fight is your biggest fight in your career, because if I hadn't won the previous one, I wouldn't even be in this situation. So I prepare the same way for every single competition. I never underestimate it. It doesn't matter who the competitor is. I'm still trying to be the best martial artist and best fighter I can be. And obviously the only thing that would change is you're kind of looking at small holes in their games that you're looking to capitalize on. But mainly I think in this sport you really need to focus on progressing as a martial artist yourself and as a fighter yourself, and that's kind of the approach I've taken. So I don't really feel the same way that last year it was for the belt and I was main event. That didn't really seem to stand out in my head at all. It's just another fight, and that's the main thing. And the fact that it's a main event or it's the first fight in the card, the only thing that makes a difference for me is the time that I have to be warm by, and that's it. And other than that, I'm just going in and doing the thing that I do every night of the week. So
Jimbo Slice has got a job to do, Basmo.
Yeah, James, just before this fight was announced, myself and Ross were discussing who we thought would actually be the person to take you on. I actually looking back, Ross, I was thinking that Justin Burlinson would get it, and then Ross, you thought it'd be O'Neal Brown. Were you surprised Burlinson got it? Because he was also meant to fight on Dana White's Contender Series.
Was that for me?
Oh no, I was asking James.
All right, I was like, oh, you meant to me. Go on, James.
No, I'm not surprised Burlinson got it. Yeah, the only thing I thought it was going to be O'Neal Brown, because he had won the 50k tournament and he had a good few finishes. Obviously, he was more active, just because of Burlinson's situation. But obviously, then with O'Neal moving down to lightweight, it kind of put Burlinson in the running for it. And Burlinson is a high level guy. Like, he's shown multiple times the guys he's fought, and the fact that he's also on that radar for the UFC, and like in that last fight he showed that he's incredibly talented and durable. So yeah, I'm not surprised that it's Burlinson. The only thing that I thought was ahead of him was O'Neal Brown, but obviously he's changed weight class.
Yeah, for the people that aren't actually aware of Burlinson, last time when he fought Rhys McKee up in Belfast, that was contenders for one of the fights of the year, wasn't it, Ross?
Yeah, jeez, that was an absolute war. Unbelievable fight. I actually think at the time we might have been in the back, and I think we I don't know, did we do the interview in the back, James, or we were about to do the interview in the back and then Rhys fighting, and I can't remember. We did the interview after,
and then we stopped, and then we stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I mean, that was obviously an epic fight. obviously, yeah, Reese got his hand raised in the absolute war. Do you watch back that fight or any other Justin Berlin fights and take much away from those fights? Obviously, other than the fact that he's tough and durable.
Yeah, of course. Like, of course, I'm watching all of my opponents' fight tape, and it's not just that I'm taking away that he is durable. He's very skillful. He's a very good fighter, and he had Reese in a lot of bother, like in that fight, and in a lot of fights, like he is a finisher, and he's dangerous everywhere, and that's one thing that I will say. Obviously, I'm not going to go into like some of the things that we're looking to capitalize on, but he's a very, very experienced and technically sound guy who's also very very durable and very game. So he's the full package, and that's something that I kind of expect with everyone kind of in cage warriors now, that like you're not going to get guys that are just one fantastic at one martial art or so on and so forth.
Yeah, 100%. And like obviously he's a dangerous opponent. Like he doesn't know what the judges look like, which is always something that makes it more exciting. But I think again, like that will be all the more impressive after you get your hand raised. But tell us this, obviously, as you touched on, there's a load of Team Ryano fighters on this card. How much easier is it to get ready for your own fight when all your teammates are getting ready for a fight at the same time? So everyone's sort of, somewhat on the same schedule, or they're all preparing together. Does that make it easier knowing like they're all sort of suffering on the diet side and stuff like that?
It's definitely, it builds great team spirit and camaraderie in the gym, and the fact that you're all kind of prepping together, all for this one date. You're all going through the ups and downs of a fight camp together, and even just like picking each other's brains, and I'm having this problem or that, or with the weight cutting or whatever it might be, and it is great that we have so many people on the same night, and there was such a close team as well, and yeah, that's basically it to answer your question.
No, absolutely. It's going to be a mass night for the gym, like it was last time out. Seeing you and Andy Ryan's embrace after you won that belt was something else. So, I'm sure you had to wash that T-shirt a few times with the amount of blood on it. But it was wild to see. Tell me this: do you think if you go in there and get a finish against Justin Burlington, is that enough for you to get the call from the UFC?
I would hope so. The Bronson is at that level that he's proven that he's UFC level himself. So I think if I was to go in there and get a dominant performance against Bronson, it's kind of stapling myself as that level as well. But you never know with the UFC. They're a business at the end of the day. They're not there to just give handouts. So I hope I impress them.
Well, I don't think James Sheehan has ever asked for a handout in his life, Basmo.
No, well, like this fight is like we were discussing it. That myself and Ross both agreed that this fight, yourself against Burlington, is the biggest fight Cage Warriors have put on this year. So like surely the winner of this will at least get another opportunity with whether it be Contender Series or something along the likes of that. James, like as we said, this is the biggest fight on the card. Is there any other fights on the card that you're looking at? You're like, look, I'm actually looking forward to seeing that one as well on this card.
Of course, like all of my teammates, I'm looking forward to all of them because they're all at interesting points in their career as well. Like, so obviously, I feel if Saul wins this, he's putting himself in title contention. Same with Ger. Ger wins this fight, I feel like he's putting himself in title contention. Darby is now stepping up, that like he's a major player in the welterweight division, And then with Jamie as well, Jamie's not just a prospect. He's now putting himself there, like, oh, this guy's on climbing the ladder as well. So we're all at interesting crossroads for this, and just generally all of the Irish fighters in general. I don't think there's anyone on the card that I wouldn't be rooting for. So yeah.
Yeah, I suppose this card has more Irish versus Irish talent than we've seen in a long time. Obviously, Alex O'Sullivan's fighting Dara Toman, Matthew Elliott's fighting Kenny Moknawana, Joe Doyle's fighting Keith Keogh. What do you make of sort of the Irish versus Irish fights on a Cage Warriors card? Are you here for it, or do you think it's better when they don't fight each other? I suppose in the UK they'd fight each other a lot more often as well.
I think it's only natural for Cage Warriors to match it up that way, because obviously on an Irish card you're trying to get as many Irish guys on as possible. Ideally I would like to see Irish guys fighting people from other countries, but look at one or two fights against your own countrymen doesn't really matter. Like, if you think about like where me and Ian had to fight years ago against each other, and then I didn't fight an Irish guy again for I don't think I've fought an Irish guy since. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Oban Elliott pretends he's Irish sometimes.
the Welsh gangster, yeah. But I don't have any problems with it. I think it just goes to show the amount of Irish guys coming through the ranks as well. So you can see that as a positive as well, that there's so many Irish guys there to actually put themselves on the card.
Yeah, it makes it very interesting as well.
Yeah, and look, you're leading that line. I think, like, you're not a man with a massive ego, and you're not a man who like says that, but like that's the truth of the matter. At the end of the day, like, you're as bad as say you're the team captain in Team Ryano, and at the end of the day, like, you're Cage Warriors welterweight champion. I mean, that's a tough division in any organization, and you're the best of them, and you're leading that line, and like everyone's actually looking to get to where you are right now. So whether you're going to say it or not, we are. So at the end of the day, Jimbo Slice is the man at the moment in Cage Warriors, and he's the one that they're all aspiring to be.
Well, thanks very much.
Too humble, James. Too humble.
Yeah, I'll take that as I didn't like to give myself a nickname, so I'll let other people do the talking for me, and big up how important it is to be the welterweight champion. But look, like you said, I haven't got a major ego. It's just not my style. I love martial arts. I'd be doing this regardless. I love the challenge of it, and look, I appreciate the kind words, boys, as always.
What's more important, James, to be the Cage Warriors welterweight champion or to be the best Sheehan brother?
Oh man, best Sheehan brother, no doubt. that's the real motivator right there.
Yeah, so James, can you let us know what type of shorts you're going to be wearing for the event? Because they're always one of the biggest party pieces of the events.
That's the talk of the town.
That is the talk of the
town. Lads. I love you and everything, but that's classified. That's classified information right there. That's
part of the game plan.
That's one of the things that Trump said he was going to reveal when he got into the office. He said the JFK files, the Epstein list, and Jimbo Slice's shorts for Cage Warriors.
I love it.
We'll know by the end of this week.
Perfect. Well, for the people tuning in,
what do you think it's gonna be?
I like the leopard ones. Like,
I think like a rhino skin.
A rhino skin, and you want the leopard back?
I'd say I think they're sort of synonymous with yourself. Like, that's what I think.
Well, yeah, maybe the snake skin could come back again, and that's what I won the title in. So maybe we'll see.
Fair. We will see.
You know what? You better off.
Whichever pair washed.
The suspense is better. People better
Yeah, the
get
blood's
voting.
still all over them.
Yeah, okay. Well, James, for the people tuning in now, you have to make sure to watch James defend his title at Cage Warriors 188 in Dublin on Saturday, the 26th of April. If you can't get tickets for the event in the RDS, make sure to check it out live on UFC Fight Pass. As we said, James versus Burnson is the biggest fight Cage Warriors have announced this year, and it's guaranteed to be a cracker. 5 rounds is booked for, and the winner takes it all. James, is there anything else you want to say to the people tuning in? They can't wait to see what shorts you wear, especially.
Can't wait to show you all the sexy shorts I'm gonna be rocking, and try and get tickets. The ticket link is in my bio, and April 26th it's gonna be fireworks. So make sure to tune in if you can't be there.
Unbelievable, man. You're the man, Jimbo Slice.
James, thanks very much
Thanks
for your
so
time.
much,
And
lads, for having me.
we'll let you get on with the rest of your day.
The Energized Show, up the Irish.
Okay, so here we are now with the main man, Ger Harris. Ross, what's the story, bud?
Oh, not much. You know what? This looks like it's going to be a bit of a Team Ryano special. We weren't too sure if it was going to work, but look, the bodies are flowing in here. So obviously you have the GTA selector, Ger Harris. Ger, frustrating times for you at the moment. No one's willing to put their name on the dotted line to stand across the cage from you April 26th. Are you feeling that frustration at the moment?
Yeah, I definitely feel the frustration, but here I can't blame them because I'm a fucking machine. Know what I mean? You're signing away your health there, signing to fight me. So, yeah, no, I am very frustrated, but like that, it's not swaying me focus. I'm switched on. My training's being solid. I'm just back from Liverpool. I'm at the being over there training with the lads in Aspire. So like that, it was a nice little breakaway. I got confirmation off Graham Boylan that I'll definitely be on the card the Tuesday just before I left. So like that, and the main man gives you the nod. There's no need to worry. So all the stress is off my shoulders.
Happy days. I suppose the only other aspect of it, I know we're 3 weeks out, but the closer it gets to the fight, like, what's your thoughts and theories on like studying your opponent and stuff like that? Are you like a big advocate for that or not, or do you just go in there and just hit them with all the weapons in the GTA selector arsenal?
To be honest, I just go in and I fight my fight. I think if I do what I do, like I don't need to plan for what such and such is gonna do because he's going to have to prepare for me as well. Like that. There's nothing he's going to go in there or anybody's going to go in there and do my game better than me or stop my game better than I can put it out. There's nobody who's like probably going to be replicating my style in the gym. There's very few Ger Harrises out there for a reason. So I'm not worried about any opponent with any skill set. Like you're saying, like my last fight out with Chilwani, it was up, down, everywhere, all over the cage, and it was a fucking smashing fight. The time before that with Tommy, I wrapped his neck up. Jiu-Jitsu black belt, no problem. The fight before that with Ryan Hewitt, another barn burner, back and forward on the feet, up and down. And like that, you're saying how dense my skill set is. So I am not worried who stands in front of me. I'm willing to put anybody's face through the back of that head with a 5-knuckle shuffle. So, yeah, no, I am not worried one bit.
The champ is here.
You know that, baby.
Ger, obviously, the last time we saw you fight on Irish soil was Cage Warriors 161 against Ryan Hewitt. How special is it for you to fight in front of the home crowd? Obviously, you've got a huge following, and that night you threw the kitchen sink at Ryan Hewitt. I don't know how that man was still standing come the end of it. He must have one of the best chins you've ever faced.
Yeah, he definitely does, and he's a fucking staunch young fella as well. Really nice bloke, and like that, I've yapped to him a couple of times like that. We always exchanged the odd message back and forward as well. But like that, my hands were triple the size after that fight. I was fucking putting everything into him. I must have spun like Crash Bandicoot at him about 5 or 6 times, and like that, I missed 2 or 3 of them. But the 3 that landed, he fucking just shook off. I was like, what's the story with the TA100? Know what I mean? Where are you at the finding this fella? But now, yeah, you're definitely seeing how dense my skill set was in that fight. Like that, I was hitting him with some nice shit, and like that, he's a high level striker. Like I've watched his last 2. his last one with Tebe, and then the fight before that he stopped your man with a left body kick. So like that, he's not some schmuck like that. He's out there taking hard fights and fucking getting good results. So yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah,
Jerry,
big time. Go on, Bats.
Jerry, you're obviously like a huge ticket seller. Like all the content that Cage Wars put out about you, like it does big numbers, and like looking at all your teammates and they already have the opponents booked. Are you sort of like what is going on here? Like you should probably have an opponent straight away.
Honestly, lads, it genuinely is very, very frustrating. But I think I've been in this position a couple of times, where I think before I would have already let it dwindle me, like, me approach to the fight, because I'd be nearly saying to myself, nobody's gonna fight me at this time. But like that, Graham told me there's going to be a fight, so I 100% have trust in him, and like that same Andy just wants me to stay switched on if any opportunities pop up. If like that I could get a fight for this and someone could pull out the day of the fight, like look what happened to Blade and Teddy Stringer and Darby, like people pulling out day of the fight on them. So that could happen, but I'm just ready for the next show that pops up. Like you never know what opportunities come in this sport. Like that, it's a roller coaster. So I'm on it and I'm ready and I'm putting in the graft, and like that, Ross, you to say I'm constantly on their match trying to improve, and like that I'm doing, like I don't do anything else other than train. So I'm out here training like a professional, doing everything I can, all my strength, all my recovery sessions, preparing for whatever
On in the
pops
gaff
up.
and all.
Yeah, you know that. I'm about to jump into it now as soon as I'm done here.
Ger, tell us this. Obviously, last time out, you didn't get your hand raised. It was an incredibly close fight. Probably one of the fights of the year for Cage Warriors against Giovanni Scott. Obviously, he's gone on to win a few. Like, does that give you massive confidence in this division that you like? Like I'm right at the pinnacle of this division, and you're ready for all comers.
Well, if I had won that fight, I was pretty sure I was going on the contender series. So I want two more finishes, and then I want that opportunity to come back. So that's what I'm looking at. And like that, yeah, obviously I'm looking at him as well. He's still in Cage Warriors. He's still a potential opponent in the future. I could see us probably potentially fighting for the title, depending on what way the division goes, or if I get the title before he does, he'll probably like that. He's up in the ranks now. Know what I mean? He's a high level lad, and like that. I think on any other day I probably would have took that fight, but like that, you can't turn a red to a green, so there's no excuses. But I know what position my body was in going into that fight, and I know I could be in a lot better condition. So, like that, take nothing from it. Great fight, great opponent, and yeah, look forward to probably fucking meeting him in the future in there, or like that. I'll probably be bouncing around England trying to get some extra training in, so I'll probably train with him at some point as well. Know what I mean? Like that gym are doing great things, so it'd be good to touch in, see what the bodies are like, and like that, you get to see where you're at then. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a vision that people need to keep their eyes on as well. The flyweights in Cage Warriors. We just saw
We're
Lonnie
the
Cadman
most
go over.
entertaining division for MMA enthusiasts. That is. Yeah, you get the big knockouts with heavyweights and middleweights, but you also get a lot of fights where them fucking blading big units are hugging against the cage for most of it. Flyweights are like two blue ass flies bouncing around the cage. Know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And like I suppose the other thing is with the flyweight division in Cage Warriors as well. Like we haven't seen Hack in a while. So, like, someone needs to get in there. He needs to defend his belt against someone. So
bring him over for the Dublin show. What's the story with that? Know what I mean? See if he's ready. I'll have a Barney off him in 3 weeks if he's happy.
Yeah, happy days. I buy to see that fight anyway. No doubt about it.
Know what I mean? Bring that flyweight title back to Team Ryano where the first started off. Know what I mean?
Exactly. Tell us this. Obviously, the gym is on fire at the moment. Everyone's training at basically for the same card, which is really, really important. And obviously, like as James Sheehan touched on, said there's a lot of camaraderie about the gym now about that. But tell us this, James Sheehan, he's defending his belt there. You know what I mean? How cool and how big is it for the gym to see someone like James Sheehan defending his belt? Because he's obviously not someone who, he's not like you. He doesn't blow his own trumpet,
Yeah. James is he's a very modest fella, know what I mean? Very humble, like, but like that. At the end of the day, James is the team captain. He's the one who is pushing us all on in the sessions, like that. He's the one. If you're working hard and you look over, he's working harder. So like that, and he has the accolades to fucking prove it. He has the Cage Warriors title. He has what we all want and what all we aspire to. So like that, you fucking James, like he might not blow his own trumpet, but like that, he's constantly on the mats learning. He's constantly on the mats pushing the whole team, and not just the MMA lads. Like that, he's always giving a handout, and from the beginners right into the like jiu-jitsu classes, and obviously the MMA team. It's don't only want to just fight like him like that. He's a plays a big role in the gym. So fucking, there's a lot of stuff that we could do as well as James does, and we'd be fucking all doing all right.
Yeah,
Jared, can I also ask you, like, what are your thoughts on how Ryan Curtis has recovered in the last year? I know you're very, very
Yeah,
good
like
friends with him.
you can see it. You can see it on his Instagram. It's fucking believable. Like that. I remember when he had only got hurt, and he was like, "I'm going to walk again," and anything that fella says, I just say, yeah, I know, because I believe every word that comes out of his mouth. I've looked up to Corda since I'm 10. Know what I mean? He's like that. He's just made of a different soup. Like that. He's like back running and all now, and it's what
Yeah.
less than a year ago.
Mm.
Like he's yeah, top man. Like you fucking. I honestly, I don't have the words to explain how proud and how honored I am just to have him as a mate and just have him to look up to, because like his mindset is just second to none. And like that, if you know Corda personally, you know it's not just the injury that he's going through, and he's just doesn't let anything. He's bleeding bulletproof in my eyes. Know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
it's an incredible journey. Like that man, we've been speaking to him like offline and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, man, you need to be doing TED talks and everything. You know what I mean? Like, he's such an inspirational figure. Like, regardless of the fact he did MMA, even if he didn't do MMA, but I suppose he has that grit in him from fighting that has really
Yeah, and
instilled
he'll
that
tell
belief in
you
himself.
himself. That's where a lot of the like that, it's what's the word I'm looking for, it's delayed gratification, isn't it? It's like he's used to working hard without getting the results straight away, and
Mm,
like that stands to him. Know what I mean? Because like that, it's not just a miracle. He's in the gym every day. When he was in hospital, he was in with the physios every day. He's
mm,
doing his exercises. He's doing more than they asked him to. Like that, a lot of people who get injured the way he did sort of give up straight
mm,
away, and they're just like, why would I do the physio if I'm never gonna walk again? Why would I do this? And when people were saying that, he was like, "Can I have the physio session? Can I have them extra sessions?" And like like that, it's not just fucking magic. The proof is in the pudding. He's worked hard
mm.
to be where he is. Know what I mean? So like that, probably a blessing that he done the sport that he done, and like that, he's yeah, he's the fucking business. He was always one of the hardest workers in the realm, even when we were on the mats together. So like that wasn't gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking about starting his own podcast. Like, surely you're going to be on one of a guest on one of the shows.
Yeah, we probably just laughing from one end of the episode to the next. More, yeah, fucking good giggle with me brother. Know what I mean? And hopefully, like that. See, once he gets that podcast going, it's gonna blow up, because like that,
Yeah.
he's like one. He's an interesting person to speak to in general, and like that, he's really interested in not just people who do MMA. He's interested in every, like, he
Mm,
wants to know. every part of the story. He wants to know all the spin-offs. He wants to know, like, me and Court are talking about the one story for hours, because talking about it from 10 different points of view, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to him getting that podcast there and hearing them.
And do you reckon he'll be there in person April 26th? Watch you get the business done.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, once nothing's coming up for him, know what I mean? Obviously, he has a lot of stuff going on, but no doubt he's there for me all the time, regardless. So, if
It'd
he's
be
not
great to see
there,
Cage Warriors have him there as like a guest of honor. You know what I mean?
oh, 1,000,000%. They should give him a fucking throne.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
Well, he would love that as well. Nice
You
velvet
too.
throne from.
Yeah, him and his Versace house coat.
Yeah. Or whatever else he wears that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fella's
Right.
never seen the inside of a pennies.
No, he's not. No.
Unbelievable.
I walked into his gaff and it looked like Brown Thomas. I'm not even joking.
Unbelievable. Would he ever give you a lend of the clobber? No.
No. I
He
wouldn't
touch
ask.
it.
But my head's too big. I wouldn't be wanting to stretch out the neck on them. Know what I mean?
Yeah, but just to bring it back to Cage Warriors Dublin, obviously, there's another flyweight on the card out of Team Ryano, Jamie Abbott-Bissa. Obviously, used to get quite a bit of work in together. How's he shaping up for this card?
He's fucking sharp as fuck. Jamie's been putting in the graft. Know what I mean? On the mats day in, day out, like that, blood, sweat, and tears together. So, yeah, Jamie's fucking flying at the moment. Just everywhere. This whole game is just getting better. All of us are improving as a team. Solomon, Jamie, obviously Darby's being away, James, Graham, Lewis, Nadine, everybody, Aaron as well. Everybody's been working hard together. And then we have a few little amateurs coming up as well that are going to be probably taking fights in the next little while. Shawnee B as well. If you know Shawnee, he's half a serial killer, so he's a machine at the moment as well.
Only half
what
serial killer.
What a way to phrase it. Only half serial killer.
Ger, as we said, we're looking forward to seeing you back in action on Saturday the 26th at Cage Warriors 188 Dublin. For the people tuning in, if you can't get tickets to see Ger in the RDS, it will be live on UFC Fight Pass. Ger, is there anything else you want to say to the GTA Selector Army that are looking forward to seeing you come back?
Yeah, just get on, get your tickets. Don't worry, I will be fighting, so don't hesitate. Just fucking pull the trigger and get your ticket, because they're not going to last long. And I think Cage Warriors might need to open up another area, because the tickets are looking slim and all my crowd are only starting to get them, because like that, I've been waiting on opponents. And yeah, I just want to give me sponsors a huge shout out. Vinny from Alpha Mechanical, Simon and Lee from B&M Insulations, my Uncle Roy from RM Roofing, Monterainer at the Jumping On as a sponsor. Yeah, so looking forward to see what they send out. Me physio Darren, me sports psychologist Molly, she's been giving me a great dig out this camp as well. And there's a couple more, and I'm sure I'll be giving them shout outs over the next couple of days, like John from the ISI as well. Collie Martin has been looking after me as well this camp, so fucking yeah, I have a great team behind me. The Northwood Barbers keep me bald as well, so yeah.
It's good for the way cut, no hair.
Yeah, if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry, but yeah, I want to say a huge thanks to all them, because like living and breathing as a professional fighter wouldn't be possible without them. Like that, I don't work. I do the odd few PTs here and there just to keep me afloat, because all I want to do is be a world champion. So, they're making that possible for me.
And Ger, will we see some more Fighter 365 stuff coming out before the fight?
Oh yeah, stay tuned. The content's going to be starting again. Obviously, I was away in Liverpool, and I just wanted to focus on myself and my training as well, because obviously being a couple of stressful weeks with just waiting on opponents, getting opponents, them being confirmed, them not being confirmed. So I wanted to just go over and focus on myself and leave the phone in the bag and not be asking people to get clips from me and stuff. And then he's going to be back. So from tomorrow, the content's going to start getting filmed again. So yeah, stay tuned. It's hopefully some funny bits coming up for you, you know.
Yeah, JC's
Brilliant.
the man. You're the man. Can't wait to see it. April 26th, Ger Harris, the GTA Selector, coming to a cage near you. RDS. Do not miss it. Get your ticket.
Appreciate it, lads. Stay energized, baby.
The Energized Show, up the Irish.
So Ross, here we have Adam Darby on the show.
Yeah, the golden boy of
Golden
Team
boy.
Ryano. You know what I mean? It's the complexion, it's the hair. You know what I mean? He looks like he's fresh off a surfboard in California, but he's actually in sunny Dublin.
I've just touched down in Dublin about 45 minutes ago. First place I'm going is for a haircut. Haven't had my haircut in 3 months.
You mean the
So,
first place you're going is the
definitely needed.
Energized Show?
Well, yeah, this is on the way to the haircut.
Fair,
Adam, welcome
fair.
home, bud. How's it feel?
Good to be back. Looking forward to getting back to the gym tonight now and getting some good rounds in with the boys. James and a couple of other lads. It's been a while, too long.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
absolutely. It's great to have you home and great to have you fighting April 26th. Tell us this: what's life been like over in America at the moment, and what's the training been like over there?
Yeah, life's good. I'm living out in San Diego. It's a nice place to live. Good professional gym, 2 good coaches, Mark and Jake. And then I'm training with a lot of good guys. You can see them. You see the fights. They all fought in March. 4 guys, 4 wins, all first round knockouts against good competition. Getting good rounds in there. And now I'm ready to go home and get some rounds in here, get back to the time zone and get ready to rock. It's been a while since I fought. 18 months since we last fight. 2 handbrakes. You couldn't write it. But we're back now, 100% healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, tell me about it. Take it easy tonight up there. Don't be throwing too many digs. Tell us this: what's it like now to have 2 teams? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, that's probably real nice for you to know you have like so much extra support now that you have the Fight Academy team and Team Ryano.
Yeah, it's some opportunity over there. It's not something we could pass up, but I don't think people realise I haven't actually left Team Ryano. Team Ryano's still my gym.
Mm.
I'm still on my shorts. Andy's still my coach. Some people think that I've left the gym, but I haven't. I do some camps over there, and then I do a lot at home as well. So I'm looking forward to putting it all on show now soon.
Yeah,
That's why we have you on the Team Ryano special.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is Team Ryano special, so don't worry. We know you're Team Ryano, but everyone else will now know you're Team Ryano as well. Yeah, but I suppose that's one thing that really shows progression in a gym, that like they're happy for fighters to go other places and develop new skills elsewhere. That's something that shows a lack of insecurity from a gym. We see others do it really successfully. Like GSP was the one who sort of like started out that methodology. But it's great to see you doing it, and it's great to see you progress in your career doing it as well. But like, it seemed like it was a no-brainer career move for you to try something like that. No.
Yeah, like Andy put me forward for it. There's not a lot of coaches that do that. Andy said, look, there's an opportunity here to make some good money. You get paid well for the fights and you're getting a weekly wage, training at a professional gym. It's in a sunny, good spot. San Diego's nice. Do you want to do it? It's probably going to be a year or 2. So I took the opportunity, but I wouldn't have been there if Andy hadn't put me forward for it, and there's not a lot of coaches that do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us this: obviously, the guys over there, like Leon, like Teddy Stringer, like you are like a little brotherhood now. Like, you guys get on really, really well. Like, how important is it to have those guys there along the same journey with you?
Yeah, when you're living with guys, it's different when you're just training with them. Obviously, I know all the lads, James and stuff, 10 years, so it's like a brotherhood with them. But I'm only training with the likes of Leon and stuff a year and a half, 2 years. But I feel like I know them 5, 6 years because you're just doing everything together.
Mm.
You wake up in the morning, you see their face. You go to training in the morning, you come home, you make dinner. You go back to training, you see them then. You get sick of them sometimes, but it's really close knit. You're living with them, and you're just living the life, aren't you? It's just, you're coming home, you're watching fights with the lads, you're watching the sparring footage, you're talking about the drills you've just done. We've mats in the house, in the garage, we're drilling stuff in the house, at 9 o'clock at night. Oh, I remember that today, let's check that out, let's do this. So it's a nice life, it's a good setup over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose this is probably a big one for you, Darby. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while. I think it was actually April 2023, the Wallhead card, the last time we saw you fight on home soil. So it's been sort of 2 years in the making. How much are you looking forward to that? Because obviously, I'm sure when you come home from the States, there's loads of friends and family who are dying to see you. But to get to actually show them all the hard work you're doing and put on a show for them, that must be something that you're relishing.
Yeah, like, it's been 18 months since I last fought. 2 handbrakes, 2 pullouts. One on the day of the fight, one the day before the fight. Sorry, a couple of hours before the weigh-ins, the guy pulled out. So I hadn't really got a crowd going over that one. It was one of the shows where they've no crowd, so it was all right. But I'm looking forward to putting on a good show in front of friends and family here. You know, people think that I've been probably taking time off and not doing much, but I've been training. I've done 5 back-to-back camps with injuries, so I've still trained. You know, I had a broken hand. Ross, you would have seen I was up in the gym rolling every day with a broken hand, a cast on, doing drills. I was down with Collie and DCA every day, hitting pads 6 days a week. You know, I've been training, and I think that the level's going to show on April the 26th.
And is there a real itch off that broken hand to throw it and land it? Because that didn't get thrown for a while.
Oh, I've been thrown that. That's been getting thrown once. I actually wanted to fight in March, but it was decided that we're going to wait till April just to make sure the hand's 100% and you don't want to break it again. So, you know, in my head as a fighter, I was like, no, let's do March and April. And then the coaches, you know, and they stuff said, look, let's wait. Let's get the hand right, fight in April. So it was the best decision. Looking back on it now, in hindsight, it was the best decision. And I'm looking forward to now this fight in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and obviously, Darby, this is a massive night for Team Ryano, like it was last year in April for Team Ryano. Obviously, you're in addition to the card this time from last year. But, like, you know, obviously, you know, in your weight class, James Sheehan is the champion of the world in Cage Warriors. He's a humble guy. Tell us, what does James mean to the team and Team Ryano, and how great is it to see him main event in this show?
He's a team captain, like, isn't he? He fucking puts the whole gym on his back, you know. He gets out there, he fights, world champion, humble guy. Wouldn't really give it any of that, but he should be, really, because I think he should be gone to the UFC, to be honest with you, after that last fight. It was a phenomenal performance. What did the UFC want? They want bar burners like that, and every time James goes and gives it. So I think this could be his last fight, you see, to be honest, on Cage Warriors. I think he could be gone to the UFC by the end of the year.
Yeah, exactly. I do honestly think this is the best place Team Ryano's been in as an MMA team in a very long time. Obviously, James is a champion. Saul could be in a #1 contender fight here. I mean, you're on a 3-fight win streak. Ger Harris is a perennial contender now at flyweight. Jamie Ababissa 1-0, look to go 2-0. Do you feel that about the place? Do you feel like that's the general vibe amongst the MMA team and Team Ryano, that, like, you guys are on massive winning ways at the moment?
You know, I haven't been in the gym in 3 months. I've been over in San Diego for the past 3 months, you know, but before I left Christmas time, early January, the vibe in the gym was like everyone was switched on. The fight was 3.5 months away, 3 months away. Everyone was switched on, you know, want to be sure at what time we train at. Let's get there 40 minutes early and drill this, drill that. The vibe was like really good. So I'm looking forward to getting back up tonight and just getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me this, have you picked up a new nickname since you're over there, Renton? Because you weren't mad in the last one.
The dude.
No, not yet. It seems to just be, I'm going to have to rock around. What's up, dude? One of them. But the nickname, the plank, is stuck, and I don't think I can ever get rid of
that. Darby, first of all, I kind of wait to see you back, welcome back to Ireland. You brought the weather with you as well. Like, looking at how you're getting on in America, like, is there any sort of one thing you like that really stands out that has been the highlight of your time in America, and also has the full experience been exactly what you thought it would be?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal over there. Like, you know, you have 2 top-class two top-class coaches, Jake and Mark, you know, 2 high-level guys. Jake's kind of the same height as me, long legs. He's been showing me some sick stuff in jiu-jitsu, and I'm looking forward to showing that if I need to. And then Mark's been showing me a lot of counter wrestling and striking off that. So I think I'll show it on April the 26th. I think people are going to be in for a shock. They've kind of all forgotten about me, and, you know, I've 3 4th-round finishes in my last fight. They've all forgotten that. So I'm looking forward to April 26th to remind people what I can do and get my name back out there.
And also, what's been the best experience you've had since moving to America?
It's a good question. Really answer that. You know, the whole thing is just so good. I like the sun. I'm learning to surf, doing jiu-jitsu every day, MMA. You can't beat it. Like, it's the life, to be honest with you. If I won 50 million tomorrow, I'd still go out there and do the same thing. Yeah,
and like, do you see yourself like staying there much longer, or like what way does that sort of work with the team that you have over there?
Yeah, we'll see how the show goes, I suppose, and see if it comes out or what the situation is. I'm not too sure what's happening right now with it, but it seems to be going on. So it seems to be going on for a few more years. So I'll stay here for as long as I can and just keep soaking in that information that I'm getting taught, you know.
Yeah, sure. You are the main character over there, aren't you?
But I don't know, Leon Hart might be the main character. He's probably the funniest guy over there. You've got to get him on the show. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, Leon Hart's taking on Scott Harvey.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Great fight.
That is a very good fight. That is
there's a few spicy ones on this card, sort of UK and Irish talent going toe to toe, and Irish versus Irish talent on the card. So it is
Look, it's the
good
way
to
it
see it.
should be, gym against gym, but like the old days, rivalries
Yeah.
against rivalries. None of this, I'm not fighting him, he's from this gym, he's from that gym. Let's fight each other, see who's the best gym. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? A bit of Irish on Irish violence is
Yeah.
the way forward for me, especially young in the career. You know what I mean? Why not go for it?
Yeah, well, it's more when the two Irish guys are going to be fighting each other, like the crowd's going to get even more louder and louder, and then they'll feed into the next fights. You know what I mean? Like it's just the atmosphere is going to be wild in the RDS.
Yeah,
the Irish crowd never let you down. The Irish crowd's going to be good. Even if you
Oh.
didn't even sell a ticket to the fight, you're still going to get a good cheer once you're Irish.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us this: what do you know about Mad Dog? He's got a few first round submission losses. Is that something that you've kept your eye on? You know what I mean? Like, if he shoots in against the cage, standing guillotine there, your speciality, the Irish John Jones, they call him.
I would see what happens. He's I wouldn't be underestimating him. His records,
No.
like I can't really seem to get his full record. It's 7-4 on some sites and then 6-5 on other sites. But that's 6 first round finishes that he has. And they're all quick, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. So I'm not underestimating this man. I'm coming in, and I'm gonna do what I have to do to get the win. Whether that be take him down and submit him or strike, we'll see what happens. See what I'm feeling on the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Adam Darby fights are never once to be missed. You're still yet to see the second round in your professional career, so you know what I mean. Definitely don't blink. Don't go to the toilet in the build-up because they tend to end early. But Darby, it's unbelievable to have you home. It's unbelievable to have you on this card. You know what I mean. I think it's going to be a you almost forgot type moment. Come April 26th.
I think so.
Do not miss this fight. It's going to be an absolute epic fight. Adam Darby fights are always thoroughly exciting. I don't think this one's going to be any different.
Stay energized.
All right, no, but Adam, just before we wrap things up, like as we said, it's going to be Cage Warriors 188 in Dublin's RDS. If you want to get tickets, make sure to get onto Adam's Instagram because Adam is home. And if you cannot make it to the event, it's going to be live on UFC Fight Pass. Adam, is there anything else you want to say to the people tuning in that are going to be watching you compete on April 26th? But
no, that's it. I don't like to talk much. I'll go out there and show the work that I've been putting in for the past 18 months, and I'm looking forward to it. See us all on the night.
Unbelievable.
Okay, we'll let you get on with the rest of your day, bud.
The Energized Show, up the Irish.
So, Ross, Team Ryano special, how do you think it's going so far, man?
Yeah, man. Absolutely brilliant to have all the lads on. Obviously, James Sheehan being the main event, huge night for him. And I'm convinced if he wins here, gets to finish, he will get signed to the UFC. I think there's no doubt about it. I think that's what needs to happen. He's the main man there, and he's proved it time and time again. And the lad said team captain badge. Do you feel vindicated? But Scotty, you got to clip this up and send Sean Bannon time after time.
This is the thing. I originally got the team captain from Team Ryano, so I was like, right, everyone has a team captain. And then when I asked Shauna, she's the team captain, she did not take that well. So yeah, she thought of captain on a boat.
Yeah.
So there we go, team captain, baby. Ross, I know we were speaking to James Sheehan about Rhys McKee. McKee, the biggest news in Irish MMA over the weekend. Rhys McKee getting his first win in the UFC Octagon, UFC Vegas 105. Ross, what did you make of Skeletor's victory over the weekend?
I think we saw what we needed to see. We saw Rhys McKee vicious from the outset. He went in there with bad intentions and he put his opponent away. Look, I think this was a perfect performance by Rhys. I know at times Frunza landed some shots back, but I think sometimes Rhys needs a touch of that. You know what I mean? He likes to know he's in a scrap, but he came out of that fight relatively unscathed. He dropped Frunza 4 times in the fight. It was sensational performance by Rhys. I think that's the confidence booster as well that he'll need to push on. And I think Skeletor has arrived, and I think he shows he belongs there. And I think the praise needs to be as loud as the criticism. And there's a lot of criticism online in the build-up to his fights. People are saying he's 0-4, probably doesn't deserve to be there, etc. gets like very like volatile on the place like Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Even on Instagram comments sometimes it does. But he proved he deserved to be there and then some, and he proved he can mix it in there with some of the best in the division.
Yeah, and going in, he was down as the underdog as well. Ross, just some of the cornering that went on in the first round, the likes of Pat and Shando, and shout out John McColgan as well, were shouting like Paul Hughes for a certain type of move, or even post-fight Reese mentioned that they sometimes say Paddy McCurry or Matthew Elliott. Like, what you make of the way the Fight Academy Ireland to have like moves based on people's names?
Yeah, well, I suppose like, the fighter who you're fighting against, if you said, "Oh, get an underhook," or shots off the break, you know what I mean? His opponent's going to know what's coming then. But if like shots off the break is called Paul Hughes, or a double leg takedown is called Matthew Elliott, or a flying knee is called Paddy McCurry, the opponent's not going to know what the shots are. So it's a very smart way of giving your fighter instructions that they'll know instinctively what they mean, but your opponent won't get any forewarning of what's coming. So it makes a lot of sense. It's something that I think is really, really cool. And look, Pat and Chando are two of the best coaches in the country and probably in the world at the moment. FAI is on fire at the moment with Paul Hughes, with Reese McKee, with the likes of Paddy McCurry and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They really are unbelievable coaches. And even seeing I actually went back and watched Reese McKee's like last vlog in the build up to the fight, and like seeing Shando and Pat say like look, sometimes you almost have to be the bad guy and tell them like what they're not doing right to fix that. I mean, you can't just be yes man if you don't point out someone's flaws and holes in their game. Like, well, then how are they supposed to improve on them? So just hearing that level of honesty was really, really refreshing, especially considering like they might be saying that to someone like Reese, who like is one of the biggest profile fighters in their gym. You know what I mean? With a lot of fighters looking up to them as well. But look, Reese implemented his game plan absolutely perfectly. He got the job done, and it was something that I think so many people wanted from him. Not only is Reese like highly skilled, but he's such a likable character in the Irish MMA space. If you've ever met Reese McKee, it's more than likely going to be a positive interaction. Really nice, humble guy.
Yeah, his event, the Fight Project, is also going down this Saturday, the 12th. So I'm sure he'll be taking loads of selfies at that event, Ross. No, but
absolutely.
it was.
I'm sure he'd be inundated with picture requests.
Yeah, no, it was great for him to see that, to see Reese win that. Also, how humble he was in the mic afterwards, saying that he is at 100% top 15 level, and that people may have forgotten. But with a victory like that's just the way. That's the best way Reese fights. The way he puts it on people and uses that jab. Because look at the size and reach he has as well. So like he went out, he fought his fight, and then look at the result. So like it's only onwards and upwards for Reese, Skeletor, and McKee. Ross, also before we get into this weekend's action, because there is some Fighting Irish back, and also there's a huge UFC 314 card going down. It was also announced over the last week that Machado Gary is back in action. He's taking on Carlos Prates in the main event. I think it's UFC Kansas, Ross, on the same night as Cage Warriors 188 Dublin. So on the 26th of April. Ross, what you make of this matchup?
Yeah, I think I almost think it's a bigger risk for Ian than it is a reward. Like, he's going in as the number 7 ranked welterweight. You think he's fighting the number 14th ranked welterweight. Obviously, Ian wants to get back on the horse. He wants to get a win in this column. But like, you could easily argue that a win over Prates doesn't really do a lot for Ian Gary. He'd be expected to win. But anyone who's a fan of the sport would know how dangerous Prates is. He's part of the Fight Nerds who are on fire at the moment. He is one of the best welterweights in the world. I don't think his ranking probably does him justice. I think he could easily, if he was ranked 9 or 10, no one would really question that either. So I think this is going to be a huge fight for Ian Gary. I think it's great to see how game he is. And I think he's really sort of turning it around with the world fan base, if I'm being honest at the moment. I think his performance against Shavkat and now this fight, like accepting this fight in short notice, I think he's got a massive amount of respect from the fans now as a fighter. And I think this is going to be a huge one for him. Again, like Prates, like, he might be 21-6, but he's 4-0 in the UFC. And with that being said, he's also got 4 finishes. So this guy is one not to be messed with. And like, I suppose the one thing you might say is he knocked out Neil Magny in 1 round. Ian Gary went the distance with him. I think that could be like the narrative that's pushed for this main event.
Also, this will be Ian Gary's first ever main event slot in the UFC as well. I know he was previously booked the main event against Joaquin Buckley, but this one is going to be the first one. So we cannot wait to see that go down. Ross, UFC 314 goes down this weekend. Max Lally's best mate, Alex Volkanovski, is taking on Diego Lopez in the main event for the vacant UFC featherweight title. Ross, what do you make of this matchup?
Yeah, look, Lopez on a tear at the moment. He's what's he on, like 5 or 6 fight win streak at the moment? Like, he is someone who is really, really on fire as of late. So, like, his last loss was a decision loss to Evelev. And at the end of the day, I think he has massive power in his strikes, and he's also got great submission skills. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. His last fight, he absolutely dominated against Brian Ortega, and I think he's gonna give Volkanovski a handful. But I don't think he's fought at Volkanovski's level. I think Volkanovski looks like fresh for this training camp again. I feel like he's sort of washed off the losses, and I think we're going to see a revived Alexander Volkanovski back. And also, it's hard to pick against Alexander Volkanovski when he brings a young, talented Max Lally into his training camp. So it's a bit of a funny spot for Volk to be in his career. Like, for the first time in a very long time, he's going to be coming off consecutive losses. Well, first time ever. And like, he's 1-4 in his last 4 fights. But again, he's fought 2 of the best pound-for-pound fighters of all time in Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. I'm going to say the great gets his hand raised and reclaims his featherweight title.
I'm going to have to agree with you, man. Anytime you have Max Lally in the camp, there's only wins out of that. But Ross, in the co-main event, which could be the people's main event, is Michael Chandler taking on Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. What do you make of this fight? And who you expect to get the win here, bud?
Oh, Paddy the Baddy. I actually think Paddy Pimblett's going to actually win this fight. I think he'll get a triangle at some stage. I think Michael Chandler is very exciting for the first round, but I think as the fight goes on, his techniques waver, and I think it'll be either like a guillotine, triangle, rear naked choke, some form of choke. I think Paddy the Baddy will sink in, but I feel there will be some ropey moments in the first round for Paddy as well. I think
this is meant to be 5 rounds. I think
I don't see it really going past the third, to be honest.
I can see Paddy getting the choke. That's more what I see. I think Volkanovski as well.
Well, like what I said.
Yeah, well, like, sometimes I have to agree with what you say, because I think you get the picks right most of the time, man. I can't be wrong all the time. At least let's both be wrong sometimes.
Fair. Also, I think it would be good for the sport if Paddy won.
Yeah, look, when it's a Paddy fight week, like, people like really, really are invested, whether they want to see a win or lose, and that's the name of the game. This is all about entertainment, Ross. At the end of the day,
absolutely.
Ross, just a couple of other fights that people should tune into, because this card is top of the range. Bryce Mitchell is taking on Jen Silva. Yair Rodriguez is taking on Patricio Pitbull, former Bellator world champion, making his debut. Then, Ross, is there any other fights on this card that, like, people definitely should tune in and see?
Well, the most winningest UFC fighter of all time, Jim Miller, takes on UFC Fight Pass's own Chase Hooper in a very intriguing lightweight bout. So I'm definitely for that one. And the damage, Darren Elkins faces juicy Julian Rosa in a featherweight clash. That one's going to have violence written all over it as well. So there's a few fights in the early prelims that will get the fans tuned in early.
Okay, there you go. Look, if Ross says it, it has to be true. Is that right, Ross? No spoofers
Absolutely.
in this show, bar me. And then for the Fighting Irish, as I said, the Fight Project, Reese McKee's very own event, goes down on Saturday. People who are enjoying the PFL went down last week. Unfortunately, Nathan Kelly lost in the first fight of the night, but the PFL is back this Friday as well. Then just looking here, Ross, Cian Cowley from SPG Ireland and Warriors Gym is fighting for the welterweight title at MMA Gala on Saturday night. And then Dee Begley is competing at WOW FC 18. That is also going to be on UFC Fight Pass. And then on Sunday, for you absolute MMA degenerates, LFL is going down on Sunday. Kieran Loughrane is supposedly meant to be on the card, but he hasn't got an opponent yet. So we'll keep you up to date on everything on the Energized Show's Instagram page, which right now is like close to 18,900. We're looking to hopefully get to 20,000 by the end of the year. With your support, hopefully we can achieve that to promote more and more Irish MMA every day, every week, every year. Ross, it looks like we've gotten to the end of the show. For next week, people tuning in, they'll be able to see more Cage Warriors Dublin interviews and talk about everything that goes down this weekend from UFC 314 and more fights to be announced as well. Ross, Team Ryano, your team. We just had on
show. Loads of chaos in there, but so
these shows aren't easy to organize when we're doing them.
No, great to chat to Ger, great to chat to Darby, great to chat to James Sheehan. Tried to fit one or two more in, but obviously it's hard to get 5 fighters on the same card to be available within the space of an hour. But we do our best each time. As I say to people all the time, we are trying to help grow, or we want to try and grow our platform, how we can give the fighters a bigger platform time and time again to come on and promote their fights and promote all the Irish MMA events. So we do appreciate any support you can give us, whether it's a like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're following us on. We really do appreciate it. It means a lot to us. The more we grow, the more the Irish MMA community and team grows as well. So we appreciate that so much. Basmo, thanks for being the greatest co-host of all time. You're an absolute legend.
I'm the host. You're the co-host.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for being the greatest host of all time. I am the co-host. I am the passenger on this ship. Guys, thanks so much. I'm the backseat driver. Thanks so much, guys. Really, really appreciate all your time that you take to listen to us. Really, really appreciate it. And as always, stay energized.
Boom. Jesus me.
The Energized Show, up the Irish. It's the face that runs the place, Chaos Curtis. I want to thank the Irish MMA community so much for getting behind me. Yup, the Chaos Cartel.